Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is Betrayal in Blue, Cops Who've Crossed the Line. If you're already a subscriber, thank you. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified of new videos going up. And like, comments, give a thumbs up, share it on your social media. All right. Just want to thank everyone again for the really nice condolences and just a lot of support for me for Dory's passing, and I really can't express my gratitude enough for that. All right, let's get into. I don't want to dwell on that too much because I'll cry here like a little baby. Whoever came up with that saying, "Real men don't cry," never had the pleasure of knowing Dory. All right. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about another story that happened prior to George Floyd. George Floyd, as we all know, happened over a year ago. This happened approximately 2 to 3 weeks. I'm not sure exactly. I don't remember when George Floyd incident happened. Probably should be burned in my memory, but it's not. This incident happened March 3rd, 2020. So it was before George Floyd. And it was depending on what side, I guess now after the case, depending if he's a victim or a suspect at the time, or a perpetrator, ends up he is going to be a victim. He was walking, supposedly he just left church where he plays, sings in a choir or plays the drums for the church choir, but he was also a meth user. As we know, and his name is Manuel Ellis. As we know, meth users have erratic behavior. They already have respiratory problems. It's exacerbated, thank you, by COPD and asthma and all that type of stuff. So people that use meth already do have respiratory problems. All right, so this past now, May 27th, it was 2 weeks ago. I think today's June 7th. 3 officers, this all happened in Tacoma, Washington. 3 officers were arrested. 1 was charged with second-degree murder, and 2 were charged with first-degree manslaughter in the death of Mr. Ellis. Now, there is grainy cell phone video that happened after the altercation started, and there's also a doorbell cam of the situation, which is at a distance. So from the videos that I've seen, you really can't see too much. Possibly that's why it took a full year for this. What surprises me, though, is how I never heard of this, how this really hasn't been, blown up in the news like George Floyd. Maybe probably because George Floyd, had that extensive video taken of him during his incident. So what happened is, if depending again on who you believe, the witness with the cell phone says that as Mr. Ellis was walking by the patrol car, the officers just slammed the patrol car door into him. They got into an altercation, and then he was held down, and he ended up passing away from what the ME described as hypoxia, which is basically ruled to a lack of oxygen. So I think there was some type of chokehold applied. The meth use probably, gave a contributing factor to all this. It doesn't say how long the altercation lasted, anything like that. It hasn't really gotten into it. I do know there's a $30 million lawsuit already against the city of Tacoma, Washington, and the police officers. There was a spit hood placed over Mr. Ellis after they had him restrained. I don't know if he was biting them or spitting on them. It doesn't say. It just says that there was a spit hood placed over him. On the spit hood, there's actually a warning, and I want to read this exactly as the warning states. It says, not to use on anything having difficulty breathing. It doesn't say anyone, it says anything. So I guess spit hoods are good for animal use too. I don't know. But it says not to use on anything having difficulty breathing. There was apparently allegedly a chokehold applied, and he was a meth user, which contributes to respiratory problems. So that was the witness's statement. According to the police officers, as Mr. Ellis was coming by the car, he punched the patrol car window on the door, which prompted the officers to jump out of the car, and then the altercation ensued. Again, meth use causes erratic behavior. Maybe, that led up to him punching a window, and the whole, negative stuff that was going down back then on police officers, and still continuing to this day. There was recently a video of two people jumped on a patrol car, and they're jumping up and down on the hood, and one girl is turned around with a butt facing the windshield and twerking on the hood of the car. People have probably seen it. It's all over the news. And officers can't do nothing about it, apparently. I don't know. The old days, that obviously wouldn't happen. You would have grabbed them and stopped the car, got them off, cuffed them, and brought them in for discount. Officers are afraid to do anything about anything like this. So this is like I said, it's been going on since prior to Mr. Floyd's death. So I don't know why it hasn't blown up, but probably because Floyd's incident, just captivated the news cycle. So this hasn't been heard about very rarely. If it has, it's not really out there, and it's still not out there even after the arrest of the officers. So I'm not exactly sure why the media hasn't picked up on it and blown it up. It's going to play out in court, obviously. Both sides will have their say, and we'll see what happens. All right, I'm going to try to keep the videos also shorter, because people have been writing me they don't have time to sit down and listen to a 20-minute video. So we'll try to shorten it up and make it a little more convenient for people. If that's not good, we could always go back to doing multiple stories. I'm going to do one quick Q&A, or maybe two. They wanted to know, do all officers start out on foot patrol? Back when I started, you had a 12-month probation. Your first 6 months was in the academy, so you really didn't have any worries about doing anything wrong and breaking probation. After you got out of the academy, you did NSU, 6 months in NSU before you were situated in a precinct. So NSU was considered a neighborhood stabilization unit. It was where they put all the rookies in a very high crime area and to, put them out there to make it a deterrent. For me, NSU was NSU 14. That was in Bed-Stuy, covered the 7-7 precinct, the 7-9 precinct, and I'm not sure what the third precinct was. We were never there. Maybe the 8-8 or the 8-4. No, we went to the 8-4 during the holiday season down on the Fulton Street Mall. Basically, the whole time for NSU 14, we were up and down Nostrand Avenue. There was a cop on every corner from Fulton Street all the way up to Eastern Parkway. And that was, to support each other, to be a deterrent for crime in the neighborhood, and, make a presence. You would go out on foot. As you can imagine, there's a lot of blocks between Fulton and Eastern Parkway. So there was a lot of cops out there, and there were usually, I think it was at that time, 2 patrol cars that went out, but with a field training officer who was a detective who had many years experience, and he would go out there and answer calls, radio runs for the neighborhood with the 2 rookies, learning their way, and we would rotate. So you would have a different patrol foot post patrol sector, and you would also rotate in and out of the cars. So that's pretty much how it happened until the end of your 6 months. And then you got sent off to a precinct. For me, it was, as everyone knows, was to the 7-5 precinct in East New York. Welcome to the land of fuck. My first words heard from a veteran officer when I walked into the precinct. The other Q&A, I hope that answers the question. The other Q&A was, were there other officers that I was aware about that were involved in corruption and criminal activity that you guys aren't aware about? Obviously, yes. Like we talked about last week or the week before, there was a bunch of cops that were arrested in the 7-3. On the 7-7, there were cops arrested. That was prior to the 7-5. That was in 1986. We didn't get arrested until 1992. I did know one of the cops from the 7-7 precinct. He was my field training officer. I've spoke about the story that I went on with him and my buddy that I went through the academy with in the 7-7 precinct, where they went into a bodega, which was basically a front for a smoke shop, and they busted the whole place up. They didn't arrest nobody. Drugs and money went missing. And my buddy and I really had no idea what was going on, but they took us along with them because they trusted us, and we drank with them on a prior occasion. So I did know one of the cops arrested in 7-7. Anyway, so beyond that, did I know any other cops besides the 7-7 and 7-3? I did. There were other cops in the 7-5 that I was aware about. We didn't talk about them. I didn't talk about them to the DEA. I didn't talk about them to Internal Affairs. I didn't talk about them to the Southern District. When I went in, they were only interested in the things that I was personally involved in with myself and my partner. And obviously anything that was going to occur since my arrest, they were very interested in. They were also interested in my current partner at the time, because I was retired in the 9-4 precinct. That's specifically the question that came to me. They mentioned him by name, so they obviously know him. I'm not going to mention him by name because he did not want to participate in the documentary. He was asked and did not want to participate, so I'm going to respect his wishes and not talk about his name, but I will talk about some of the little things that I know about him. I did meet him on multiple occasions, very briefly. Obviously, I never worked with him. I met him through my partner because it was my partner's current partner in the 9-4. When I went into the Southern District, I was informed that he was already cooperating, which was also a factor in me going back the second time and cooperating, besides my wife, besides the ongoing kidnapping and murder plot on Avon Street. That was a factor that led to me cooperating because he knew everything about me. And the first time I found out he knew everything about me, my partner was coming to my house to drop off a load of cocaine because he used to pick it up in Brooklyn, drop it off to me on the way home out to Long Island. And his new partner was with him. I never met his new partner. They both showed up at my house to drop off the coke, and I pulled him aside, had his partner go back out in the car. And I was like, why the fuck are you bringing someone new to my house? I don't want no one to know what we're doing. Clearly, I don't want especially a cop, I don't want to know what we're doing. And his response is, do you think he doesn't know everything about us and everything we ever did? I told him everything about us. That's how he broke him in to being corrupt. This guy was never corrupt prior to meeting my partner. That's how he broke me in when he first hooked up with me. My partner told me everything about him and his prior partner. Little by little, that's how he got us to cross the line. And again, we didn't have to cross the line. It's on us for crossing the line. We could have went to Internal Affairs right away. I've talked about many times why I didn't, and I'm sure that's probably the reasons his new partner didn't go to internal affairs and went along with new corruption scams. Anyway, that was the first time I met him. So he knew everything about my history, which was when he went in to cooperate with the Southern District. The Southern District, throughout, I talked about this before, questions to me that they shouldn't have known unless somebody within the circle talked about it. So another time was, and it was a couple of times in between, but next time I'm going to talk about is the night prior to our arrest. The night prior to our arrest, I went with the kid I set up in drug sales. We drove into Brooklyn, into the 9-4 precinct where my partner worked. My partner had picked up a load of drugs. There's a video out there on it where IAD caught him and his new partner doing this, caught the drug dealer getting in the back of the car. I think I showed it on my, I don't know if it was on Twitter or my Facebook group, this The 7-5 movie. You could look it up. It's on there somewhere. I'm pretty sure I put it out there before.
It was suburban Long Island police who had nabbed him in the drug sweep. In fact, just weeks before he was arrested, this police surveillance video caught Dowd as he picked up drugs from a dealer.
He's about to give me a package to look at.
A package of drugs?
Yes. The transaction was already completed. I just wanted to sample it.
Dowd combined.
I think it was this Facebook group. Anyway, shows the drug dealer getting into the car, making a delivery of drugs, and them driving off. So we had gone, my kid I set up and myself went down to the 9-4 precinct to get these drugs. That was partially of the load he got was intended for the kid I set up. And the kid had no idea how to get to the 9-4 precinct. He was a Long Island kid, didn't know anything about Brooklyn. So we drove in to the 9-4, sat in a bar. At that time, no cell phones. I beat my partner and waited at the, it was a public phone at the bar we were at. And he called back, told him where we were, on what corner of the bar. It was in the 9-4 precinct. They came by. I don't know if it was Suffolk County or internal affairs, probably a combination of the two that were surveilling the whole situation. This is, I think my partner talked about this a couple of times, how he saw people following him prior to our arrest. I saw them almost immediately when we went into the bar. It was a bar on a corner. There was a front window and then a side window from the side street. On the side street, a fucking van pulls up and a younger looking kid jumps out from the side door. Obviously, to me, an undercover cop. So, and he comes into the bar and he sits down by himself. So I'm with the kid and I told him, I don't think we should be doing this deal. I think that's a cop. He goes, I'll take care of it, which again leads me to believe he might have possibly already been cooperating. So, all right, I'm not going near it. My partner and the kid, Harry, made the exchange. We jumped back in the car. We drove back to, and I don't know if it's on video or not. Everything wasn't disclosed in Discovery because of, we did not end up going to trial, obviously. So we shoot back out to Long Island, and then the next day, everybody knows what happened. There was a big raid on everything, on the 9-4 precinct where they were, on everyone's homes, the drug dealers' houses, everything. So that is one of the other cops that was involved in corruption that I've never talked about, never spoke about. Clearly not going to give his name. He didn't want to be a participant in all of this. His name is out there. If you guys, again, much like the Deputy Inspector's son, if you guys go back into all the archives of the news articles, his name was all over all the news articles because he was my partner's current partner. All right, I think that's enough. We've probably gone on longer than I wanted to go on because people asked me to shut it down. Please like, the videos, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Very important, subscribe to the channel. The statistics, I went into the statistics to look, of all the views I'm getting, it's like 3% of the subscribers are the ones that are watching the videos. That means 97% of you guys don't subscribe to the channel. So it costs you nothing to subscribe. Hit the subscription button there, right there under the video. Again, there's going to be links under the video for merchandise and Instagram, Twitter, and the Facebook groups. Feel free to do it. Also to my book, Betrayal in Blue. There's a link to that on Amazon, and to the 7.5 video if you haven't picked it up, or if you're interested in seeing it. If you have never seen it, I can't believe you haven't seen it. It is definitely considered. Oh, almost forgot. We'll get quickly the update on the 7.5 movie. 7.5 movie is still going on. My contract is getting extended. It wasn't up on the 6th like I thought. It is up on June 12th. It is getting extended. I talked to the producer. It's just going slow, man. Hollywood time is notorious slow. It's not like the rest of the world. They are again working on a script. They're looking to get another screenwriter to help Ben Stiller out. Ben Stiller is still on the project. The story that came out in Collider back in, I think it was December, about possible actors who was going to portray us was pure speculation. They have not looked in, at least that's what I was told, they have not looked into hiring any actors yet. The process is, do the screenplay first, obviously. So that's what they're working on. It is still on. MGM is still involved, as everyone knows. I don't know, or maybe not. Amazon picked up MGM. So I guess MGM is now a subsidiary of Amazon. So we'll see how that plays out if they want to get into, obviously they want to get into the movie business. I don't know if they're going to just let MGM go about their business or put some input into what movies get made. I don't think Amazon has really any agenda on things like that. They have, a lot of diversified stuff that they sell on Amazon. So I don't see anything going wrong with that about, true crime books and movies and things like that. So I don't think there'll be a problem that way. All right. Thank you guys for watching the video, and definitely come back and watch more videos. Go back, watch the ones you haven't seen, and hopefully I'll get another video out to you guys soon. Thank you so much for coming by.